What's up, my friend? Welcome to the Finding Direction podcast. My name is Stu Massengill, and I'm here every single week to bring you a passionate guest or message dedicated to helping you find your purpose so that you can live a life full of passion, fulfillment, and happiness. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for hanging out with me, and let's dive in. What's up, my friend? Welcome back to Finding Direction. I am fired up and excited to have a conversation with you as always. And as we kick off a new month, we are officially in December. If you're listening to this on the day of release, or if you're listening to it after that, you're in December or you're in 2023. It is crazy that this year has already basically passed. We got 1 month left, and I am so excited to dive in all month with you as I bring you so many different ideas, topics, things that we're going to dive into this month that are going to help you wrap up this year, tie it in a nice little bow, and ultimately get ready for 2023 to make it an even better year for your life. I am so freaking excited for it. So if you have not yet, make sure you smash or hit or click that subscribe button so you can join us on the podcast every single week as we bring you insights and conversations on finding your purpose and maximizing living in it every single day. And if you're enjoying it, I would be so grateful if you would take 30 seconds and leave us a review. You can go on iTunes or Spotify. If you're listening there, you can give us a star rating. But if you're on iTunes, you can leave us an actual rating or a review. And I would love to hear from you on what you're enjoying and what you want more of. All right. So with no further ado, we're going to dive into this week's episode, and we're going to be talking about increasing your energy meter. Now, if you've been hanging out with us for many episodes, or if this is your first one, you've probably noticed that I am a somewhat energetic person. I'm not the podcast that you come on to listen to someone who's monotone and, doesn't have a lot of energy. I am someone that believes energy is a key element to life. And when you are living in alignment, you have more energy in your life because of a default of living in alignment with your purpose, with what you're supposed to be doing, with having more happiness, fulfillment, gratitude. When you live in alignment with those, naturally, your energy increases. So today we want to look at how can we start to increase that energy meter and also really take a look into your energy meter, right? If you feel like you're going through, your life and we're coming to the close of this year and you're like, man, I feel like, I'm at like a 30% energy in my 100% energy meter, then we need to have a conversation about that, right? We need to look into that and say, okay, what are some of the things we need to move, mix around, change up so that we can get you from maybe 30 to 50% at first, right? And then eventually you get to 50 and you go to 70, and then eventually you continue to work it up, right? If you're listening to this and you're going, Stu, I'm at a freaking 95, I'm crushing it, then one, kudos to you. You're freaking amazing. And two, maybe this will help you get to 100. All right. And if you have some other tips you want to share, send me a message. Let's have a conversation. If you're at a 95, let's be friends, right? So anyhow, what you want to understand as we dive into looking at your energy meter is that energy truly is one of the number one skills in order to have a successful life. Because if you have no energy in your life, you're not going to be able to create things that you want. You're not going to be able to create a life that you want. If you don't have energy, you're not going to go take the extra step. If you don't have the energy, you're not going to do the thing to evolve your life. You're not going to take the extra step to get into a career or a business that you enjoy. You have to have energy to move the needle forward in your life. And one of the things we talk about a lot on this podcast is, one way to have more happiness in your life, really simple, is to have progress in your life, right? And if you want to have progress, it comes back to, again, you have to have energy. If you're a lazy, bum, and bum is maybe a harsh word, but if you feel like you're at, let's just say, that 30% of your energy meter, it's going to be a lot harder to make more progress, and therefore it's going to be harder to have more passion, more fulfillment, and more happiness in your life, right? So we have to look at energy. Hopefully now you're like, okay, Stu, I buy it. Energy is important. Give me the sauce. Give me the stuff that I need to know to start increasing my energy meter. So what we want to do is there are two separate ways that you can increase your energy meter. And there's actually a third bonus one that I'm going to give you if you stick around till the end of this episode. So there's really two, but the third one is just the cherry on top of the chocolate or strawberry or vanilla milkshake that you have with the whipped cream. The third one is the cherry on top of that. So stick around for the third one when it comes to increasing your energy meter. And the first one, as we look at your energy meter, is understanding the idea and the concept of energy consumption. All right, so if you think about it, if you have 100% of energy to expend in your day, right? You start off with 100, let's say. What you want to understand is there's things that are taking away energy from you. And there's actually, and this will be part two, there's actually things that when you do it, it actually increases your energy and it actually bumps your level of energy back up. So the first thing we want to look at is this idea of energy consumption. So if you feel like, for example, you're waking up and you're at a 30 out of 100 on your energy meter, the reality is there's probably some things in your life that as you wake up and you get out of bed, you're going, oh, I got to go do this thing. And it's like sucking the energy out of your life, right? For some of you, it could be a career. For some of you, it could be work. For some of you, it could be many different other things, right? But you really want to start to ask yourself, what are the things that are depleting my energy? I would encourage you, if you want to really dive deep through this episode and really maximize that energy meter, I would do a writing exercise for each of the three that I'm going to give you today, right? Sit down and say, okay, the prompt is this. What are the things that are consuming my energy right now and depleting me of energy? And you'll start to notice that there's different things in your life, right? So maybe this is actually one thing that just happened in my own life as I was looking at my energy recently, is I realized that there are some people in my life, and I won't go into too many specifics about it, but there's some people in my life that when I have a conversation with them, it is like I'm not someone who gets stressed. You may know that from listening to this show, but this person is the closest thing I've ever got to getting there because they're always in such a stressed, chaotic, frantic sort of state. And I realized recently that I need to have a raw and real conversation with this person to say, hey, I'm like, this is not okay. Like, if we're going to interact and engage on a consistent manner, I need to gain energy from our conversations, not be depleted of energy from our conversations, right? So for me, that's one thing that has been consuming some of my energy lately. So for you, is it that maybe you need to have a conversation? Maybe there's people in your life that are consuming your energy. Maybe it's a career in your life that's consuming your energy. And yeah, the career, it may take you a little longer than just having a conversation to move that needle, but you want to at least start to bring awareness around it so you can start to shift it and shape it and change it, right? Maybe that's one of the things you focus on as you go to 2023. So what are the things that consume your energy? It could be, again, conversations, people, things in your life. It could be the place that you live. It could be the environment that you live in. And so ultimately, build a list of what is consuming your energy. And then you get the idea. Once you know what's consuming your energy, the idea is how do you start to tick those things off? And I don't mean tick them like piss them off, make them angry. How do you start to check those things off? How do you start to fix those things? So if it's a conversation you need to have, it's a person that's depleting your energy, have the conversation or cut them out of your life or disassociate with them like we talked in last week's solo episode, right? So deal with those things. If it's the career, you got to start to deal with it, right? Because you can't just have it continuously sucking on you like a leech, right? You have to do something about those energy consumption things, and you have to get rid of them or fix them or smooth them out in your life. That's a huge, huge, huge process, because even if you go into number 2, which we'll do in just a moment, but you still have these things sucking your energy out, it's going to be a lot harder to increase your energy meter. You got to essentially, if you have a boat and there's all these holes in the boat, you got to plug those holes in the boat, right? So that's the first thing is energy consumption. What are the things consuming your energy and ultimately draining you? And then start to work on those things. The second way to increase your energy meter is quite the opposite of energy consumption. It's energy expansion, right? So the goal in life, in my opinion, would be that ultimately you want to create a life that is filled with these type of things, that is filled with energy expansion activities. So that's like you wake up in the morning and you jump out of bed because you're like, man, I get to do in the first 2 hours of my day this thing that just fires me up and charges me up and builds my energy. And then 3 hours, for the next 3 hours after that, I get to do this other thing. And it just continues to energize me. Like you want a life like that. That's my opinion, is the goal is to have more energy expansion activities in your life. And when you fill your life with those and you get rid of the energy consumption things, you are going to be vibrating at an unbelievable rate, which is going to create, again, more happiness, fulfillment, passion, all those things in your life. So what you want to do as we look at energy expansion is ask yourself really simply, what are the things that you do that expand your energy when you do them? And what you could do in this is you want to start to go through like the different areas of your life. Right? We have so many different areas of our life we can go into, but if I give you just a few, some of them could be, for example, friends, right? So you look at friends, you go, who are the people that when I hang out with them, like my energy just grows. Like there's something that's maybe even just like contagious about them. And you go, okay, let me go through that and see, okay, these are the friends that expand my energy. So let me spend more time with those people, right? So the next thing you could ask yourself is, what are some of the activities that I do that expand my energy? Right? So one for me, you probably know this if you've been hanging out with us for a while, is I clearly love snowboarding. I'm a huge snowboarder, love the mountains, going to Japan beginning of January actually for an awesome snowboard trip. And that's one thing that increases my energy, that expands my energy. So I'm always looking on how can I get more of that in my life, right? How can I create a life that allows me to go snowboard and travel and do those things that expand my energy? So what are a few activities for you that expand your energy? Make a little list. The next thing you could ask yourself is, what are some of the things in your health that expand your energy? Now, one thing, and we could do an entirely different podcast on just the health aspect of this, but when you look at energy expansion, a great question to ask yourself, and it even goes into energy consumption, is what are the things that you're putting in your body, right? Our body is like a Ferrari. And if you put cheap gas, aka not good food, in a Ferrari, it's not going to operate at its maximum capacity. So when it comes to energy expansion, ask yourself, what are the things you're putting in your body? Are you consistently eating crap? Are you going and having fast food every single day and you're always tired and you're going, why do I have no energy? It's because health-wise, look at what the heck you're putting in your body. Right? If you put crap in, sorry, you're going to get crap out. So when it comes to your health and energy expansion, two ways we can look at this is, one, what are the actual foods and nourishment that you're putting into your body? Are you eating things that are good for you, right? Vegetables. Are you putting good things in your body, right? You could do more research on that, but ask yourself and just monitor, what am I actually putting in my body? The second thing when it comes to health is asking yourself, as far as like exercise, what are things that expand your energy in that sense, right? There's some people and they go, you know what, I'm just not, like, I don't like going to the gym. It's not fun. But maybe they love playing pickleball. And pickleball is their jam. It's like, you'll never catch them in a gym, but man, you put them on a pickleball court and it's like, look out. They are going to be flying all over the court and they're going to be getting exercise and it's going to be expanding their energy. So another way to look at health is, what are some of the exercise things that you can do that expand your energy? It doesn't have to be this traditional aspect of going to the gym and doing that, but there's other ways to get that exercise and expand your energy. And a really, really interesting thing, I was listening to this movie or watching this movie on Netflix. I actually spoke about it just recently on another episode, but it was called Schultz. It was with Jonah Hill, and he was interviewing his therapist. And one of the things he spoke about is when he grew up, he viewed exercise as, you need to exercise because there is something wrong with you, because you're overweight, because you're fat, right? And that's why you need to exercise, because there's something that's wrong with you. And so his entire life, Jonah Hill grew up going, I don't want to exercise. Like, going to exercise associated to him that there was something wrong with him. So he never really wanted to do it initially growing up. But eventually what he learned is that exercise, you don't do it because you're trying to fix something about you. You do it because it creates an unbelievable amount of positive mental health for you, right? When you exercise, it literally releases endorphins in your body that allow you to create more energy expansion and allow you literally, like scientifically, to be happier, right? So you have to find some way to exercise and do that because it's going to release those different types of endorphins and things in your body. All right. So that's another energy expansion, health. Another one is service, right? What are some of the things that when you do as a service, expand your energy, right? It could be that you go, man, I volunteered a few times in my life and it just like raised my energy unbelievably. So maybe you go do more volunteering, right? Maybe there's a different type of service you want to do, right? For me, one of the energy increasing services that I have is this podcast, right? It's like I get to come have conversations with you every single week, and it's one of the just most awesome, epic things that I get to do that expands my energy. It's so much fun, and I really do enjoy having conversations with you every single week and being able to interact and engage and pour into you. So what are some service things? And that also bleeds a little bit into the next area of life we could look at, which is career, right? So what are the things maybe in your career, maybe you don't love all aspects of it, but are there some parts of your career that expand your energy? And then maybe ask yourself, how can you do more of that thing and maybe delegate the other parts? Or how can you do more of that thing and maybe see if you can switch roles internally if you're working for a company, right? If you have a business, what are the things that increase your energy? What are the things that don't? Delegate the things that don't, double down on the things that do, right? So those are just a few aspects of your life you can look at. But if you start to sort of, mess with each of those little things, you're going to notice you're going to continue to get, let's say you look at friends as what's increasing my energy, expanding my energy, you bump up 3 points there because you looked into that a little deeper. Then you look at activities, right? You figure out what decreases your energy, what consumes it, and what expands it. Boom, you gain a couple more points there, right? So that's another way you can ultimately increase your energy meter, is looking at what are the energy expansion activities in your life and start doubling down on those things. All right. Now, as you have arrived at the end of the episode, we're going to dive into the third and final bonus piece when it comes to increasing your energy. And it is this. It is having an empowering vision for your life. Having an empowering vision. When you are in a season of your life, when you go, man, I know what my life's going to look like in 3 years and 5 years, and I have a vision for what that is going to be, there is a ball of energy inside of you that when you have that vision, it's like an ever-expanding thing that lives inside of you throughout everything that you do in your life. It is truly, truly unbelievable. So a question I want to give you as we dive into the bonus piece here of having an empowering vision for your life is I want you, as we leave today, to take some time, and I mentioned earlier, you can journal on the first couple pieces that we spoke about, but this is really the one that I want you to leave this podcast today and go, you know what, I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write a paragraph or two on it, whether it's in the notes section on your phone. I encourage you get an actual notebook. There's science that shows you write things down. It actually pulls different things from your brain than if you're typing. So I would encourage you to actually get a notebook, write. And what you want to start to journal about is this one prompt, and it's really simple. It's, what would your life be like if it was exactly the way you wanted it to be today? What would your life be like if it was exactly the way that you wanted it to be today? And as you do this, take the logical part of your brain out. Don't go, I can't do this. That's not possible. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not blah, 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 blah. Get all that crap out of your head. All right. This activity and this exercise is a no BS, a no bullshit, right? Writing exercise. It's get the gunk out of your head for this one. And just ask yourself truthfully, honestly, if anything was possible, if I could really do anything, if I believed in myself and I was committed, right, and I could just allow myself to dream for a little bit, what would your life be like if it was exactly the way you wanted it to be today? And as you start to journal on that, you start to write about it, you're going to start to build that empowering vision for your life. Now, again, as you go through this, take also the perfectionism part of your brain out. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be, oh, I have everything exactly the way it's. This is going to be 10 times better than what you currently have, right? That's all that matters. Your crappy first draft is going to be 10 times better than your non-existent first draft, right? So go give yourself some time. Write about this thing. Maybe put a little bit of music on so you can really get in sort of a flow. Maybe go to a place that allows you to just connect with source and energy. Allow yourself to maybe get a little bit of quiet time by yourself so you're not distracted by other people. But give yourself, I would say, at least 10 minutes. And on the third bonus piece, ask yourself, what would your life be like if it was exactly the way you wanted it to be today? And as you start to do that, you're going to start to get that empowering vision for your life. And that is going to help you increase your energy meter. All right, so that is what we have for the episode today. Again, we're looking at energy management. Number one way to do it is energy consumption. Get rid of those things that are sucking on you like a leech and taking your energy out. Number two, energy expansion. These are the things that you want to fill your life with. So what expands your energy and how can you have more of that in your life? And then number three, and finally, have an empowering vision for your life. Go answer that prompt. Go make it happen. And you are going to start to notice that you are increasing your energy meter. All right, my friend, that is all we have for you today. I want to say thank you as always for joining me on this show. It is truly a blessing to be able to have these conversations with you. I'll ask one last time, if you enjoyed this episode, please go to the iTunes store, leave us an honest review, and just let me know what was your biggest takeaway from this episode or any episode you've listened to. Or if you have a friend that you know is kind of lacking a little bit of energy, they need some zest in their life, I would just encourage you, send them this episode, and I promise you, they are going to send you a message and go, man, thank you so much for sending me that. I really appreciate it. All right, so go execute on one of those two. You don't have to do both. If you do both, you're freaking extra awesome. But other than that, have a wonderful rest of your day. I appreciate you. I love you. I am so grateful for you. And if you want to continue to hang out, do not feel like you need to go anywhere. I have another episode coming up right after this, and I will talk to you soon.